We'll now call on Mr. Garcia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kufari, I want to look at the report you recently published about Customs and Border Patrol morale among people working at the southern border. Now, an examination of your report shows that it is exceptionally flawed. And I'm stunned that you and your team released this report. It does not meet the standards required of inspectors general or, quite frankly, data collection of any kind. Now, as you can see on this poster behind me, one of the first points highlighted in the report is that it is based on a, and I quote, a non-statistical survey. I want to read that again. A non-statistical survey. I mean, you might as well at this point be doing a Twitter poll, which is the same exact thing as a non-statistical survey. Now, I want to also again quote from the report, it cannot be projected to the entire population of CBP. This paragraph, you explained that only 16% of border law enforcement personnel actually responded to the survey that the report is based on. And so we have 16% respondents, of which was non-statistical of the actual, those that are in the department. And so this is really flawed just from the go, and I just want to make sure that we highlight that as very important as far as this committee's work. Now, throughout the report, then you begin to cherry pick responses from individual law enforcement officers to bolster your conclusions. Now, last week, our committee staff had the chance to sit and have actually interviews with Border Patrol sector chiefs. Border Patrol agent Joel Martinez, who's the chief patrol agent of Laredo sector, said it best, and I want to quote him. If you speak to 20 different agents, you'll get 20 different opinions. Some guys are out there just loving their job. Now, it should be pretty obvious to anyone that there's a diverse set of opinions in any organization, and if you don't actually conduct statistical analysis, you're not actually going to get a real report. Now, Mr. IG, did you interview chief patrol agents at CBP for this report?
Yes, we did.
I believe the answer. I don't believe you did actually, sir. It's not, and if you did, it's not clear in this report. But the most egregious flaw in this report is your office's failure to even test the reliability of the data. Now, as you can also see here, you explained that you conducted your audit, and I want to quote, according to generally accepted government auditing standards, with the exception of data reliability. I'm going to read that one more time. According to generally accepted government auditing standards, with the exception of data reliability. Now, do you agree that you need reliable data to do an audit?
I believe we need reliable data. We asked for that reliable data from the department. They were unable to provide it to us.
Okay, so the answer is yes. I think we need reliable data to do an audit. And yet the data reliability of this report cannot be verified, and you actually say this in the report. So in other words, we simply do not know if the data you relied upon is sufficient to support any of the findings of this report. So essentially, this report is not verified and should not be acceptable to anyone to make any sort of conclusions. Now, I know, sir, that the president that appointed you to this position also had a problem with facts and data, and so this is not a surprise. But I want to go back to actually the report itself. The title of the report, for instance, makes no mention of staffing issues at CBP and ICE, which you allege were the entire purpose of this work. And the attrition data in the report is full of basic math errors. So there are errors of basic math all throughout the report. The data is not reliable, and a small subsection of folks were actually interviewed. Now, I think we can all agree that safely establishing humane immigration policies and at the border, we know are challenging tasks for Congress and every administration. But flawed reports like this only make those tasks harder. Now, this report is a disservice to our law enforcement personnel, and instead of working to actually identify and solve issues affecting morale, our attention now is forced to correct mistakes and correct a report that is deeply flawed. Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield back.